Okay, so here's our summary table so far. We played the predator prey game. We figured out that wolves eat elk and that elk eat the grass. We learned about competition. We decided that the beavers and the elk were fighting over the same food source, and so they left. They took their beaver families and they said, we're out of here. Okay? We played the owl game. We decided they were competing over food and the willow and aspen populations decreased. Okay, so now we're going to add our wolf game because we totally did the wolf game. Katani, when we played the wolf game, what did you actually do? Yeah, most, I don't know. A dice game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we had dice. And what were we determining? What was our two scenarios? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
We were talking about the wolves and
Is it the one with and without?
with and without humans, right? With humans and without humans. Okay. Why did I make you do that, Tucker?
To see how many wolves you had at the end of it.
Okay. And which one was better?
Without human interaction.
Yeah. Wolves do better with no human interference. So true, so true. For goodness sakes. Kimpton, how does that relate to a small pack of wolves changing the landscape of Yellowstone? How would human interference?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do. Okay, so was Yellowstone doing just fine with the wolves?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then what do?
we screwed up.
We messed up that ecosystem, right? And how did we do that? What did we do to the wolves?
I don't recall what we did.
We hunted them
Yeah.
a
that's what we
lot
did.
because they were competing for our same food source, right? So we decided that wolves are good for Yellowstone. And when humans did what humans do, right? Humans interfered. We got an unbalanced ecosystem. Okay, unbalanced anything is really not good. Okay? All right.
You know what? I read something really interesting yesterday.
What?
Made me think of this class.
What?
Why would people want to get rid of wolves?
Well, they're eating my cows.
You're in the cows, so are wolves bad? If you're a rancher or a farmer, are they bad? At least you think they're bad, right? So Idaho's got something that they want to put in is that they're allowed to kill 90% of the wolves
Oh, snap.
in Idaho. So that's almost all of them, right? They figured they'll leave enough. So what's interesting is if there's less than 10% of a species left, they're considered endangered. So
Idaho.
do you think that's a good bill that should be passed?
No, I think there should be
I think
legal.
you dispense your farm better.
Huh?
I think you dispense your farm better.
I can't hear you.
Dispense your farm better.
You could have, can you understand if, you've got your baby calves out there and there's a wolf that's eating it, could you I could see shooting it. You know, you're protecting your livelihood, but I can't see killing off 90% of the population.
How are they gonna know they've got 90% and they're gonna stop at 90%?
They won't. But you're allowed to shoot them if they're on your property and they're eating your animals.
Huh.
Makes sense, right? Yeah, so that's what they talk about, if they're in that boundary of Yellowstone, wolves are okay. As soon as they cross over, especially at night, they can be shot. So I thought that was, I read that and I thought, well, that was strange. Somebody's manipulating things. A lot of people don't like them, and I get it. If I was a rancher, I probably wouldn't be crazy about wolves either.
Did we not learn from 1930s? Apparently not.
No. I have a giant wolf pelt in my garage. It's very old. It was from Canada. It was a wolf that was eating somebody's sheep all the time. It was old. So it wasn't able to hunt. What's easier for them to hunt? Somebody's sheep in a pen or an elk when you're an old wolf? Probably somebody's
Go
sheep,
for the
right?
pen.
So
Right.
this was done by my ex-father-in-law, but I have the pelt. The thing is huge. It scared me the other day when I was going through my garage and I opened. I said, "What's in here?" Oh, big old wolf head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so next we have trophic cascades. Reza, do you remember how we did that interaction where we had the big fish eating the little fish and the little fish ate the zooplankton and the zooplankton ate the phytoplankton? Were you here that day? That does not ring a bell. Maddox, help her out. You remember how we had the large predators eating the herbivores and then you had to tell which one was which? Remember that? Okay. Why did I make you do that? Or no, what did you actually see? What did we actually do? What did we actually see? Were animals interacting with each other? Were they, okay. So we observed how animals interact. Okay. Jordan, why would I make you do that? If we changed one animal, was it like the ecosystem just fine? No, so just changing just one animal could do what? Is it gonna affect the whole ecosystem? Yeah, that happens. Okay, and you never know if it's going to be positive or negative. Kyle, how does a trophic cascade relate to Yellowstone and a small pack of wolves changing the landscape?
Because in Yellowstone, animals can affect the whole ecosystem.
What animals?
The wolf.
The wolf. Okay. Removing the wolf caused a trophic cascade. Do you think they were thinking about that? Cascade. What do you think, Kyle? Do you think they were thinking? No, I don't think so. I don't think that was intentional. All right, next, Rowan, we learned about keystone species. And when we learned about keystone species, we were talking about the sea otter. Do you remember what the sea otter ate?
The sea otter ate the sea urchins, which the sea urchins ate the kelp.
Urchins ate the kelp. Great job. Why did I make you do that assignment? Learn about that, Daniel. What happened when we killed off all the otters? Was anything eating the sea urchins?
No,
What did the sea urchins do to the kelp?
they ate the kelp.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
And that affected a whole bunch of things. Like the fish weren't happy because they didn't have anywhere to hide and make babies. And the birds weren't happy that ate the fish, right? So it affected everything. We eat fish. Okay, so why did I make you do that? Did removing that one thing destroy the whole ecosystem? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, removing the otter destroyed the ecosystem. Okay? The otter was more important to that ecosystem than anything else because it was keeping the sea urchins in check. Peyton, why did I make you learn that? How does it relate to Yellowstone? How does a keystone species relate to Yellowstone?
Because if that species goes extinct, then everything goes sad.
Is that what happened when the wolves were gone? Yeah, so could we say the wolves were keystone species in Yellowstone? Totally. They didn't know that though. Wolves were a keystone species in Yellowstone. Turns out they were keeping everything in check because wolves should have no effect on landscape. Wolves, they don't eat plants, they don't plant plants. They should have no effect whatsoever, but they had a huge effect. All right, any questions before we move on? No questions, okay. All right, so here we have Yellowstone. Normally you would be doing this with me. Yellowstone in the 1930s, okay? And what did we have Tatum in the 1930s? Were there wolves in Yellowstone, Tatum? Were there wolves in the 1930s? Do you remember that? Yeah, there were wolves. We had the wolves. And everything was fat and happy and everything was good. Don't you want to live there? I want to live there. Look how beautiful this is. And
Then move there.
I don't think you can live there. Here you go.
You
We
can
got
do it, just hide from the government.
trees. We got an elk. There's the elk, and we have wolves. Okay, everything's in balance. Everything's super awesome. And we have a great ecosystem. Okay. Mia, what did the humans do to the wolves?
Who are you looking for, bro?
What did they do?
She's
Yeah, they did that. They so did that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What?
Okay, thank you. Maya? Are you Maya?
I have a Maya.
Your mom's here. Slater, Maya Slater?
Okay.
Your mom's here to pick you up for, so.
We hunted them and we killed all of them in Yellowstone. Have a good weekend, Maya. R.I.P. wolves. R.I.P. Okay? Sam, what did the elk do when the wolves were gone? Did they have lots of food? Did the elk have lots of grasses to eat and stuff in Yellowstone? Yeah, super lots of grasses, okay? And so nothing's eating them because the wolves are gone. So elk gotta do what elk gotta do when they're 25 and married. So what did they do? Yeah, a lot. Okay, so the elk population skyrocket. There's a lot of elk. And we got legs. We got
Like chainmail armor.
No, totally elk.
It's starting to look more like a centipede.
That's totally elk. And that's a lot of elk. Oh, we got tails. We got tails too. Okay, so that elk population exploded. Liam, what did the elk population do to Yellowstone? What did it do to the plant populations?
Depleted it.
It did. They just ate and ate and ate and ate and ate because that's what elk do. Elk gotta do what elk gotta do and they're hungry. Right? So here they are. Here's our ecosystems. Here's our trees. They're not really happy trees. Okay? So this is called an unbalanced ecosystem. Okay? So we learned, Levi, that the beavers and the elk both eat the same food. Is there enough food for the beavers? So what do they do? Well, they have two choices, die or leave, okay? Maybe some of them might have died, I don't know, but I bet I would try to find food. Okay, so here we have their little backpacks with wheels, and they're moving, and they're leaving. They've had enough, right? And they're just fed up. Here's their backpacks. This one has a blue backpack, blue luggage. And they're leaving. This is called something, Caitlin. What is that called when populations leave an area? That's right. Okay, the beavers had no food, so they emigrated or died. That's their choices. Okay? So here's the beavers, and I choose that they're emigrating, not dying. But probably some died too. Okay, so us humans were like, oh my goodness, that was so silly. How could we do that? What if we bring some wolves back? So we went to Canada and we stole them, and here they are. And do you remember in the movie yesterday, they were worried they would go back to Canada. They were worried about that. But they didn't go back. Macron, why didn't they go back? Well, so they're in Yellowstone with this population. So why didn't they leave? What could they possibly do while they're in Yellowstone? They make babies, but you need energy to do that. How did they get their energy? Yeah, they got a buffet. Who likes to leave buffets? No one. Okay? So the wolves were like, ooh snap, look at that. Okay? Let's stay and have babies. That's totally what they said. They had a family meeting and they said, we're gonna stay and we're gonna eat the elk and we're gonna have babies.
I'm sure it's a primal instinct for all animals.
Could be. Could be. So, here's our good old population graph. Here's 1995. And here's the elk population. Here's the wolf population. Rudy's not here. Maya just left. Look, everybody's back in. Ah. There we go. Daniel What did the wolves do to the elk population? Did it increase or decrease the population? Yeah, there we go. But you know what? Wolves are super smarter than us. Did they kill them all? Did they eat them all? No, they didn't. They're super smarter than us. Mia, what happened to the wolf population? It did, because they're like, oh, look at that yummy food, okay? But something bad happened. Okay? Something bad happened. So this is the carrying capacity of the wolves. Uh-oh, look at that. Maddox, we're over the carrying capacity of the wolves. What happened?
Go back down.
It goes back down, okay? So there's not enough elk to feed this many wolves. They're gonna die, okay? And when this population goes down, Macram, what happens to the elk population? It's gonna go back up, okay? So they're gonna find a natural balance here, okay? They were completely out of balance. There was way too many elk, which made way too many wolves, and things died till they got this balance, okay? So here we are back in Yellowstone, and here's our river path, because the wolves, they changed the river path. That's weird. That's so weird. I don't remember the wolves changing the river path. Were they out there digging shovels and stuff? How did they change that river path? And everything is super happy now because the wolves and the elk have found their balance and everything's happy, and we got lots and lots. Remember in that picture, you could barely even see the river anymore because there was so much grass and trees and plants. Okay, and we have elk because the wolves are smarter than us and they're not going to eat them all. So we got some elk here. Here we go. And we got wolves in there. Okay. And here's the tail. Here we go. Okay. Peyton, what did the beavers think about this situation? When they went on vacation to Yellowstone, what do you think they said? Did they, which one would they like?
That one.
This one? Yeah. So the beavers, they went on vacation to Yellowstone and they were like, ooh, this place is nice. I thought it was a dump before, but now it's amazing. So what did the beavers do, Jordan? Yes, they did. The animals immigrated back to Yellowstone. Okay, so here we are. Here's our beavers. I don't know what beavers' ears look like, so you're gonna have to, we're imagining here. Okay, that's a beaver. Obviously, look at the tail. It's clearly a beaver. And they got their luggage and they're bringing it back. And one had blue luggage, right?
How old are these beavers?
Oh, you know, we don't ask beavers' ages because that's insulting. So.
Something suspicious is going on here.
Okay, and they're like, yes, look at that. Woohoo, they say. And Tucker, what do beavers do?
They
What do they build?
build dams.
They build dams. So they're moving back in over here. They're building dams. Okay, there's a dam. Liam, do dams change river paths?
Yes.
They can. Okay? So, now you know that with the wolves gone, the elk overpopulated, ate everything in sight, forced animals out. We brought back the wolves, dropped the elk population, made the ecosystem balanced. Again, animals moved back in. Everything's happy. There's more plants. And the beavers came back because they ate the same food and the river paths changed. Any questions about how this happened? Now you can go home and tell your moms. You can remember this for the rest of your life. No? Nobody? Okay, well, I think it's cool.